During Delaware's colonial period, the springtime blooms were integral for many aspects of the colonists' health. It helped begin the growing season for many dietary staples of fruits, vegetables, and grains, but it was also an important time for the various plants that would serve their pharmaceutical needs. Colonial era gardens dedicated room to herbs, spices, and other flora that provided medicinal purposes for inhabitants whose far vicinity from markets and professional health care required them to be their own apothecarists. Colonists up and down the coast relied on their gardens along with herbal medicine books to draw up different healing remedies. Herbal remedies were utilized widely throughout the 17th, 18th, and even much of the 19th century, as the state of medicine remained fairly rudimentary. Most home remedies were passed down through family knowledge or were found in European herbal books that were broadly distributed in the 17th century. However, these did not always work in accordance with New World plants and animals, and thus publications adapted for the colonists would appear later on. These guidelines had diverse remedies that represented the cultures found across the 13 American colonies. An herbal guide popular around Philadelphia by Christopher Sauer represented the strong German heritage of his family and local community of Germantown. Sauer developed cures using flora commonly found in the gardens, markets, and kitchens of the German colonists he knew so well. Along with cultural preferences, some herbal guides held regional focuses. One publication that was likely well known to early Delawareans was John Tennant's Every Man His Own Doctor, which was originally printed for colonists in the Maryland and Virginia colonies, and therefore highlighted illnesses common to the low-lying coastal areas of those regions. Benjamin Franklin decided to reprint and distribute this herbal guide for the inhabitants of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, since many parts of those colonies also sat low in level, were found to be warm and humid, and thus carried many similar diseases that Tennant's book set out to address. Colonists in the lower Delaware counties indeed faced hot, humid, buggy summers, but as well as cold winters, leading to a wide variety of ailments. Some were minor, such as cracked lips and skin caused by the dry, cold winter weather or the hot summer sunburns. This could easily be addressed by soaking sweet basil leaves to extract a gluey serum, which could then be used to coat the areas of the cracked skin until healed over. For occasional dizzy spells caused by dehydration, exhaustion, or possibly vertigo, it was recommended people drink teas made of pennyroyal or peppermint. Deadly diseases were present as well, and one in particular was caused by the enormous amounts of mosquitoes that spawn in the warm summer months, and many suffered the fevers and chills of malarial illnesses. One known remedy ordered the sick to take a mixture of sassafras root and snake root in a decoction made of wormwood every morning and night until the problems began to go away. Smallpox was a constant issue to be dealt with in the colonies, and therefore there were plenty of suggested remedies for this wicked disease. Tennant's Herbal proposed a drink made of the bark of sumac root, the inner bark of pine, and the inner bark of a Spanish oak, boiled in water, to be drunken every day for 6 weeks. Another popular disease of the time was consumption, now known to be closely associated with tuberculosis. For this, it was advised to take 3 pills of deer dung and turpentine every night before bed. Along with this, one should purge once a week by a combination of mallows and peach blossom syrup. While these cures may seem outlandish to us today, large populations of American colonists frequently relied on them until they could find more professional help. Unfortunately for those in the isolated areas of Delaware's southern colonies, this could be days away, making these books their major and sometimes only source of medicinal help. The herbalists of the time knew their craft was important not only to their own livelihood, but their community's health as well. Today, many historical towns still retain colonial gardens that highlight this important presence of medicinal plants. Aside Zwannendale Museum and Park sits the historical Fisher Martin House Colonial Herb Garden. This garden carries specific sections of plants for culinary purposes, fabric dyes, animal deterrents, and medicinal importance, and showcases the variety of herbs, spices, and flora that were relied upon by the colonists of the area, including some of the colonial cures highlighted here.
Museum Minutes is brought to you by the Zwannendale Museum in Lewis, Delaware, and by the Delaware Division of Historical and Cultural Affairs.